So you want to get your book into bookstores, like real bookstores, like Barnes Noble, Books A Million, local independent bookstore, et cetera, et cetera. Here's how you can do that. And rather than just tell you and give you hypothetical, abstract, theoretical ideas, I'm going to show you a real life case study of an author who I helped do just that, even though she is an independent author. Yes, that is actually possible. A lot of people think that, oh, you have to either have like the right connection or you have to be published by like a real big publishing house, one of the big presses. That is not so. That is not so. Let me share some actual exciting real proof with you. If you'd like more tips on this, check me out on Twitter. I'm at Joshua Lisec. So here's a case study. My client, Connie Steele. She is the author of this book, Building the Business of You, a system to align passion and growth potential through your own career mashup. Now, when I say independently published, she leveraged a service that I offer ghostwriting clients called ghost publishing. Ghostwriting, someone else does all the work, you get all the credit. Ghost publishing is similar, where someone else, aka me and my company, we take care of all of the things associated with the publishing of your book, from reformatting to resizing, audiobook for a lot of clients. And here's the kicker. We combine the best of traditional publishing, such as quality, industry standard layout, Chicago manual of style, editorial guidelines being followed throughout the manuscript, having all the things that you need to make it a real book, like what's called the cataloging and publication block. Typically, no self-published books have these, whereas real books by real publishers do. That is this little guy right here. This is what bookstores look for. This is what libraries look for. This is what libraries look for. Self-published books do not have these. Real books published by real publishers do. As part of the ghost publishing process, guess what? Her company becomes the actual publisher. Notice how Connie's company, Flywheel Associates, is the publisher of the book, not Amazon. You cannot get into Barnes Noble, for example, or any other store, typically, if your publisher is independently published by GreatSpace or by Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. That's not a thing. That's not a real book. And if it's not a real book, well, it's not up to the industry standard. Why would a real bookstore want to have a shoddy, amateurish job where they open it up and here's chapter 1 and it's Comic Sans 16-point font and there's spaces and it just doesn't look good. So the first thing you need to be considered for bookstores in the first place is what looks like a real book cover. You'll notice that the colors and fonts match perfectly Connie's existing business. So you've got uniformity. It looks real. You've got actual praise here at the very beginning, just like a real book does, from a real publisher. You've got the half title page, got the dedication, quote, you've got what looks like a typical industry standard book cover. We've got the logo of the publisher, and you've got the city and state and the publisher's name. This is the power of ghost publishing, is putting you into the most credible light you can possibly be. Copyright, the rights, notice, all that stuff. The contents look real. And if you begin reading through it, you see that the layout, the spacing, the fonts, even up to and including these citations inside the book are all industry standards. You could not tell. You could not tell that this is a self-published book unless you somehow knew better. So that is the most important thing. As the sirens go off, let those sirens in the background be a reminder that if it does not look like a real book, it cannot be in a real bookstore. So going back to this, her book, as of the recording of this video, is in the front window at the largest Barnes Noble in New York City. This is pretty cool. She's got a display here. They've even increased the size right here next to some of the books like Shoe Dog, Leaders Eat Last. Imagine the credibility that Connie now has because she's in a bookstore. And by the way, that's an important thing that you should know. Typically, bookstores are not the #1 place that books are going to be sold. But they are the place where you can demonstrate your superiority to other books that are not in bookstores. You can give yourself these photo ops, just as Connie took advantage of. So you've got, right below Ray Dalio's principles. Everyone's heard of Ray Dalio. Oh, next to Wiley, Connie's own book is right next to Difficult Conversations, Shoe Dog, Simon Sinek. This is a real book. Oh, it's in the new and notable section. This is a real book. Oh, it's in business. You're the 10X rule, the lean startup, the first 90 days, start with why, who owns the future, Elon Musk's biography. This is credibility. So if for no other reason you want to be in bookstores, it's for photo opportunities like this. They even put it out next to Why Startups Fail, which is really cool. And I thought this one was great. Now Connie gets the window treatment right outside there. So all the people who pass by this largest Barnes & Noble in New York City by volume of book sales, guess what? They are treated to Connie's book. Imagine what this could do for your credibility as a podcaster, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as an investor, as a speaker, as someone who wants to get speaking gigs and get investment opportunities, being in a bookstore. And it's simpler than you think. It's simpler than you think. Because Connie's book is ghost published by me with her company listed as the actual publisher on record. You know what that means? You know what that means? That means that people can go inside of Ingram. Barnes & Noble can go inside of Ingram and order her book directly, the wholesale way, like they would order any of these other books that they have in stock. Same goes for other bookstores and for other libraries. That's part of this process as well that I take care of, getting the ISBNs and the barcodes, not this thing where Amazon gives you this free barcode and Amazon is the publisher. Okay, that's self-publishing, but that is not what the ghost publishing experience is like. Now, the good thing about ghost publishing is it also has the pros of self-publishing, like total creative control. You get the royalties, they're much higher. All the things you like about self-publishing and all the things you like about traditional publishing are part of this ghost publishing experience. Another thing that I will say, probably the fastest way to get into a bookstore, whether you are independently published or traditionally published or any background, is what's called selling on consignment. That's where you walk into your local Books A Million or Barnes & Noble or Books & Company or Ned's Used Books with a few copies of your book. You speak to the manager, respectfully, of course. Don't pull a Karen, okay? Respectfully speak to the manager and you say, hey, I'm a local author and I would love to have an event signing here, bring some of my fans, customers, clients, friends, investors, et cetera, stakeholders, shareholders, whatever. Have an event here, give you a little bit of publicity, run a couple of ads locally here, tell my email list about it, and have you guys carry my books on consignment. But because I'm not going to say, please do this now, I'd like to leave my book with you first to make sure it's up to your standards. It's up to industry standards compared to everything else in here, so that you know that this is a quality product you are perfectly happy shelving here, stocking here at the store, even a few copies. Presuming that they say yes, this is what happens with the on consignment experience. You give them a few copies, 5, 10, 15, 20, and then as they sell them, they keep track of that, and then they pay you the difference. So yeah, you have to pay to get them printed, but when they sell them there, they give you a little bit of the royalties. This is obviously a manually laborious process, but is it worth it? Is it worth it for shots like this that you can share on your Instagram, you can share with podcasters, you can share on your website, you can share on your Amazon page? For most authors, absolutely, absolutely. So if you would like to figure out what it looks like for you to get your book written and published the best way, which is for most authors who are experts, who are entrepreneurs, who are owners, who want to leverage their book for more than marketing, but to actually convert readers into clients, clients into referrers for word of mouth marketing, let's talk. Joshua Lisec, I'm the creator of Ghost Publishing. All you got to do is click the link in the very first comment below, book time, chat with me, totally free. We'll see if Ghost Publishing is right for you. It might not be. It very well may be that you reach out to me and say, hey, this isn't going to work. This is not for you. So you have to be okay with that, but it very well could be. Look forward to chatting with you and seeing if we're a fit.